Hi. I'm so excited to have my dear friend Cristin Mercer here. We are talking about some real life work-life balance issues, and we're also going to talk about work and some of our successes, our wins, our fails, how we got there, our journey. We've definitely been through a lot together and lifted each other up when we needed to. And that's why I'm really excited, because I can't wait for Cristin to talk about her new business and venture and life and family. So welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Before we started rolling with our tape here, we were already talking about so many cool subjects. And the first one I think we should just definitely talk about is your business, Criswell, and how it was sort of born and what are the different points about the business. Because we were talking about consultations and women that are in my shoes that may not have access to the beauty industry the way that I do. Turning 40 is a big deal, so. I guess that might be the first question. What would you tell somebody that is at that stage, what to do and how to access you and what you would do for them?
Okay.
Yeah.
So how was Criswell born? Really, it's born out of 34 years of experience or so in the industry, teaching doctors, nurses, estheticians about clinical skincare, and I've had my hand in thousands of med spas in one way or another, and I've really been able to watch and see what doesn't work for the business, for the staff, and also most importantly, for the consumer. So my dream has really been to be able to take any consumer that comes in, as men as well as women, and it's interesting because we've had quite a few men recently come in, and they're out there reading magazines, they're seeing the commercials, they're in the beauty supply stores, kind of like a Sephora, and they really don't know where to go. And they're spending money, but they don't know if that works until they try it. So it's really been a dream of mine to be able to sit down with everyone and find out what their goals are, what's bothering them, how long has it been bothering them, what's the pain they might be feeling with that, and then give them all of their options. The first one being clinical skincare at home, because I won't really work with somebody unless they're fully committed to the process of changing their skin. So first thing is the clinical skincare, and I'll only work with products that work. The next step is the clinical skincare. So our clinical skincare is custom for every client. So it's 30, 60, 90 minutes, and we have a massive toolbox of microcurrent lifting, hydrofacial, Environ Cool Peels, ionto and sonophoresis, dermaplaning, LED lights. And really, if you say acne or acne care or lines and wrinkles are your concerns, I'll give you all of your options and set up a plan. Let's say you want to be a little bit more aggressive and you want results faster and you don't mind a little downtime maybe. Then we go into the medical portion of our business and work with our nurse practitioner. And our nurse practitioner will then maybe do fillers or neuromodulators like Botox. And then we have the most amazing laser. So from there we can do hair removal for all skin colors, which is not easy.
No.
Skin rejuvenation for all skin colors, and also scar revision, and that's a something to come to watch out for with Criswell. But scar revision is going to hold a very important role, and we're getting so many people are ready for scar revision, and I can give them 3 different options of how we're going to get there.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. It's
that
a lot
really
of fun.
Is amazing.
People are very happy and they're loving it, and I feel good. We can all go to bed at night and sleep well, knowing that we didn't just do a treatment and not ask. We didn't just sell to them like a lot of places do. We actually gave them the education so they can make an educated decision as to what they're going to do.
So that doesn't take 5 minutes.
No, it doesn't.
So many times when I'm training in, our professional setting, I hear that the protocol is to do the consultation while they're on the bed already cleansing or starting the facial, where I typically cringe, and I know that you align with me with this because we've taught classes on this together, is give that client the time that they deserve to sit one-on-one with them the way that we are right now, connect with them, understand, like you said, ask those questions, hear what their concerns are so that you can start to gather that information to understand what their needs are. And then you can give the solution and have that time. So when it comes to the consult, how long is the consult and what does it even entail?
So the consult could take 30 to 60 minutes. Right now we do it completely complimentary, and as long as I can, we'll do it complimentary. I really feel that for someone to come in and just lay down on the bed, the typical spa environment, you dim the lights, and they're on the bed and their eyes are closed. And I think that's a really sad way to start a relationship, especially I think I'm going to go to the whole Me Too movement, right? It's kind of bringing it in, but isn't it time that women are not lying on their back with their eyes closed and then someone talking at them and really in a sales environment taking advantage of them? Because you're often saying, okay, I see this, all of these terrible things about your skin, and if you're signed up for a basic facial, but if you want a better facial, it's going to cost you $30, $50, $150 extra dollars. It's not fair. It's not. Women are amazing multitaskers, so we're thinking about a million things. We're different types of learners, so we're not able to see what the practitioner is talking about. We're thinking about maybe the parent we're taking care of, or who's getting off the bus and feeding the dog, and it's hard to say, okay, I guess I guess if I need that, I should have it. And you walk out spending $500 and it's not even the facial you wanted. And
it doesn't feel good. And I think that you definitely hit a nerve there where, one, it's hard because sometimes we're not being heard, because we're not being asked and actually pausing to be heard, whatever those concerns are, because you may see something that I don't know about and feel and see in myself, and something that I might bring up you might not think is a big deal, but I want to express that it is, and that it is a pain point. So, and in that environment, you are vulnerable. It's an intimate setting. So I agree. I think that we're allowing that to happen as the client potentially, but also as the practitioner. So like, how do we shift that and, make that change to, make it a better experience, a more, what would be the word? I don't even know. Just a more useful experience.
And just flat out educative. The in New England, I have found, and I've done this consult and training and mentoring all over the country. And in New England, in the Boston area especially, so many super intelligent women. I mean, crazy educated. And sometimes I'm talking with someone and I find out they're a molecular biologist. And I go, oh, so you know what I'm talking about. You need more information than what you've typically been given. So I just think it's so much more conscientious and thought-provoking for them to give them as many options as possible.
So turning 40, or those women out there that, are maybe, I think post-pandemic, this whole year has been a shift in people's lives, whether it is priority, health, lifestyle, working on themselves, self-love. Like, I know that definitely has been a lot of touch points for me personally. So can you maybe give a few tidbits on, someone that might be in my shoes to take care of themselves, and, how would they access that, and what would they do?
Right. So I can feel that aging pain because I just turned 52. So the first thing, and with COVID, it's really given so many people time to pause and think about what they want their future to be and how they want to take care of themselves. I think men and women alike have been just running like crazy people for so many years, and all of a sudden we have COVID, and we're just, the brakes are on, and we get caught up on our sleep, and we're gardening, and we're home with our kids.
Yeah.
And it's pretty amazing what COVID, there are some upsides.
Absolutely.
To, unfortunately, a lot of tragedy. But I feel that the first thing is recognizing that you're valuable. And if you feel you want to look better or different when you look in the mirror, you have the right to do that. And you have the right to do that with an educated approach. So the first thing I always say, well, first come see us so we can sit down and do that with you.
Right.
But the first thing is quality home care products, because it's what you do every single day that really makes a difference. It's, you know, getting a facial is one thing, depending on what level it is, and it's going to have an endpoint potentially. But what you do at home every day is taking care of yourself. It's pausing and doing that. My favorite ingredient is vitamin A, because it's known to help prevent skin cancer. It's an age reverser. It helps with acne and oily skin and lines and wrinkles. I mean, vitamin A first for everyone. Vitamin A and sunscreen. Vitamin A and sunscreen. That's really, that's the first thing I recommend for everyone.
And you are living proof of that with your beautiful skin. Absolutely.
Yes. And then the next step from there is really based on how you want to go forward. You know, what's your time? What's your daily time? What's your time to go get treatments? What's your budget? And can you afford a little bit of downtime if that's a possibility based on what your recommendations are? But it's really very possible to age gracefully. And I feel like I'm about 27. Yeah. So I don't need to look 27, but I definitely don't feel 52. You know, I don't feel the old version of 52.
Yeah.
I feel great and vibrant, and I want to reflect that. Yeah. And when I look in the mirror, you know, part of a real common thing that comes with aging is this goes to here, this goes to here, this goes to gravity here, and then your lips turn down, and you actually don't look that happy, even though you might be super happy. So for me, I just want to do like the microcurrent lifting facials, do the good healthy skincare at home, and just kind of just gracefully go into that aging. And everyone's ethnic background is different. I have Irish skin, and Irish skin does not have the protection from the sun, and therefore it doesn't have protection for the breakdown of collagen, lines, and wrinkles. I do not have good genetic skin. So the vitamin A and C on a daily basis has really made a big difference.
Well, and the sunscreen piece of it, you know, anybody that I've ever talked to that does have beautiful skin that might be, you know, 50 plus, their secret has always been, and it's not a secret, it's something we all know, but do we actually take advantage of it, is sunscreen and using your SPF, and just how imperative that is. And you know, I teach that now to the next generation because maybe they can learn from any mistakes that I may have made, or even the baby boomer generation made, of course, that the sun is the enemy of the skin, and that we really do need to protect ourselves daily, no matter what season we're in, and you know that it's something to be conscious of, to be part of your habit every day and routine.
Absolutely. Those two things are number one, and start really young.
Yeah. And that does make sense, absolutely. You know, with all of that, with treatment, with self-care, with, you know, something you mentioned before we even started the podcast too was, you know, women supporting other women, and, you know, how you've chosen to hire and mentor. Maybe you talk a little bit about that, because I was 18 when I started in the beauty industry, and somebody gave me a chance. And, you know, I've grown and met the most amazing women and people in this industry and the environment. And so it's pretty amazing. I visited, and, you know, I got to see a former student that you now have, you know, hired and that you've taken to the next level. So I would love to kind of hear your take on that, because I don't know if that's something that happens very often, and I do think that it's a very unique thing to talk about. That isn't talked about enough.
So my first hire, anxiety producing, was to hire my manager, and that was starting this business. And I'm pouring through resumes, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like I have to have a person that I trust,
Yes.
that I can trust with my life, all of my finances, my brand. So I hired an amazing woman, and I'll say Pam, it's her first name, who worked with me a long time ago. When she saw that I was doing this, she said, I want to move back. She had moved to Chicago. She said, I will move back home to work for you, because I know that if you're doing a business, it's got to be right. It can't be a bad idea if you're doing it. And I know that you have 100% integrity. And I felt the same for her. So she has, moved around a little bit. She's gotten some more experience. She's spent some time in the derm world. She's also an esthetician. She's a laser tech. She's our laser safety officer, an OSHA compliance officer. And she's just amazing, and she's amazing for building those relationships. She's the first person that most people talk to, and she's beautiful, beautiful ethnic skin, always a smile on her face, and I am so happy to be able to give her a full-time position where she has a voice. I will listen to everything she says. She will be able to grow with us. And I have many branches of this brand that will be up and coming. And so she's now got the opportunity to go into other branches and veer one way or the other. And talking with women for so many years, it's not always about the money. It's about job and career satisfaction and goals. And she will have that. So that's pretty amazing. And the same thing for a young woman in the beauty industry to be able to have full-time with health insurance benefits, 401k, is not something that usually happens in a direct career path. So
absolutely. I do think that is such an impactful thing, to have women out there know that that's possible, and to be able to follow your passion and be able to have economic independence at the same time, that those two can align. And it's something I try to teach my daughter. It isn't about your title or the money that you're going to make. It's the satisfaction, like you said. It's what you're making a difference in that day, and that you're loving what you do, and that it doesn't feel like work. And I didn't know how my career was going to evolve, and I sort of let it. I dreamed big, and I let it go. Obviously, we have aligned because you and I both have dreams, and we didn't let anybody, tell us that we couldn't do it. And if they did, it made us want to do it even more, of course. And that's not just the beauty industry. It's just persistence in what we believe in ourselves. And that's pretty amazing. And then
my
did you have a nurse?
Yes, I have one more, and her name is Rosie, and she's our nurse practitioner. Opening a med spa has been wide eye opening. And what I found is that most med spas are actually not in compliance. And they take a lot of shortcuts. And I was not going to do that at all. And so I'm triple protected on the medical end. And one of those layers is Rosie. And so full-time nurse practitioner, beautiful, beautiful woman, kind, heart of gold. Also happens to speak Spanish, so that's wonderful for our community. Between the lasers that I have that can treat all skin types, and then also having Rosie, being bilingual, it's really it's a way for me to really be able to help women. And also for Rosie, coming in, she's got amazing results oriented experience. This is a different kind of business for her. I think everyone's got a little bit of the scares with the growing pains as we go, but she has faith in the goodness of the things that we're going to be offering over the years, and the growth that is going to be there. And she also, these three women are first in line for all the career pathways that they want as my business grows, and it's going to be really big.
That's huge.
It's going to be great.
That's amazing.
It's going to be great for all the consumers as well as for these women coming on board. So,
it makes me think about what I went to school for originally and where I am. Very different.
Very different.
Very different.
Very different. And I love that about our industry because whatever speaks to you, whether it's marketing, sales, just hands-on facials, aromatherapy. It could be anything,
Right.
but their pathway is really there for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really wonderful.
And I think that that's sort of, again, back to the lessons we can teach. And I know we're going to talk next about, our daughters and blended family, being a mom, the whole thing, is that we don't want to limit ourselves. And I think at first, when I went into aesthetic school and when I was choosing maybe which way I wanted to take it, I was limiting myself. And then I started to open up the opportunity of maybe I do want to travel. Maybe there is training. Maybe there is that. And I think that could be relevant to any industry.
Right.
So I'm glad that I didn't allow myself to be held back, and that now we pay it forward to teach others not to hold themselves back or let anybody hold themselves back.
Right.
For sure.
Right. Yeah.
So to shift the work balance and then life and being a mom, especially right now, all of the layers of things that happen on a daily basis. And of course, the weight of COVID. I've talked in other podcasts about my daughter and how, I've given her the chance to make some choices to be independent or not. And she chose to be independent and organized, and I've trusted that. And, I've loved seeing the flourishing and some of the fails that we've learned from. So maybe you can talk a little bit about the balance of that. And you have teenage girls.
Right. So first of all, with the work-life balance, I can't say enough about trying as hard as you can to try to make that work. Jaclyn, as you know, I've gone down the path of breast cancer, which I healed naturally. But I'm convinced that was all stress induced. I had head injury, same thing. It was mindless decisions that I made that put me in the path of baseball. And that cost me a year of my life. So it's really important that you force the issue of slowing down and finding what works for you. Right now, as a very thought-provoking and authentic leader, I have started meditation daily with the Chopra app, which I love. And I have given that and paid for it for a few of my staff members, so that when I see that work is affecting them, that they take some time out every day to do that and start your day correct, or put it in the middle of your day or something. I can't say enough about that. When people see me at work, that's just a smidgen of my life. My day starts early, usually no later than 7. I try, and then it may not end until midnight. So how do I model for my girls that you have to be healthy? So I try my best to get a workout. It doesn't always happen, but I do my best to try to get those in. And then modeling for my girls that, working is important. It's not just for you have to have a job so you can pay your rent. It's really, you need to work so that you have a purpose, so that you feel good about it, so that you feel good about yourself, and so that then going forward you have options. And I get that. We're a blended family. We have 4 teenagers between 15 and 20, 2 boys, 2 girls, and it's the same for the boys. That work is, to me, it's all about find your passion and turn it into work. And that's what I have done for 34 years. And I love my job. I love my industry. And at times it's been super stressful. But usually that's my fault. I put the pressure on myself. But I can't say enough for trying to start thinking clearly about saving money and living within your means, and doing what you love so that you have options in your life going forward.
And I love the idea of slowing down and choosing to, instead of this past year we've somewhat been forced to.
Right.
But how do we keep that going? And I love that idea of options, because to have that security in yourself is so powerful, and that does build that confidence to be able to give you the chance to do whatever you choose and know that you can.
Right.
Because you do have you do have the option, and you do have a little bit of a net, or the security in yourself that you can do it yourself.
Right.
And then how amazing is it when you find a partner to be able to share that with, and then how that synergy becomes just epic.
And I'm so blessed in that arena as well, because I have found the most amazing partner, and he respects me and he lifts me up. And that's something, it takes time in our lives as we grow. You can't, and to all of my kids, you can't get through life without making any mistakes. They happen, and that's how we grow and learn, really. But being around people, friends and partners that really respect you and lift you up instead of knocking you down, that's crucial. We can't afford to have anything different, and it's important to listen to your body. And if something is telling you that it's not right, then it's probably not right. And just force that time off. One of my favorite things to do for many years has been to take a week of vacation by myself. And if money's an issue, find a way to go camping. I don't care what it is, but to go by myself, and that's a way I can remove myself from everything I'm looking at, my partners, my kids, my work, and just be able to look at what's going on and what's right and what's wrong, and to be creative. Like, how do you find that creativity in yourself without having some quiet time? It's really important.
That makes sense. That makes total sense. And it is great to have that reflection, and I know that I'm definitely doing that, especially with a big birthday coming up. And one of the common denominators out of all of our subjects today has been healthy. A healthy mindset, a healthy, externally, internally, and how it really all does become in sync together, and how wonderful it feels when it does all connect. And I do think that it all is connected, especially if you are able to have balance. So I appreciate you today, and you have definitely inspired me so many times in my life, truly.
Thank you.
And I admire you so much. And I'm so, so happy for you with everything that is going on in your life and ahead as well. So we are going to link Criswell's website and how to access you and your team, because it's a must. It's a go-to for sure.
Definitely.
So,
and I
Cristin.
appreciate you too as well very much.
And those of you who are listening, whether it's Spotify, Apple, Google, Cristin, maybe you can just quickly tell us where Criswell is and website and just how they get a hold of you.
Okay. So it's our website is criswellmedspa.com. Facebook and Instagram also, great way to find us. We are physically in Woburn, Mass. And I can actually give you the phone number in case you need that too, and that's 781-935-7333.
Excellent. Yeah. Thank you so much. And maybe we'll have our daughters in at some point and have something kind of fun.
That would be great. And I'm so proud of you too, Jaclyn. Just watching you grow up. It's been wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Proud of you.
I'm blessed.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.